Hello, hello. Again, this is Sue at New Beginning Inspiration for All. And every time we get someone on our podcast and YouTube channel who can inspire you, who can add value to your life. Today we have a real estate agent. You may ask me why real estate agent means so what kind of value they can add because I know so many real estate agents and why should I listen to someone's interview means what I'm going to gain. You know, there are doctors, but they're not all doctors are same. You take any profession, there are lawyers, not law. All lawyers are same. Same is with real estate industry. Not all provide the same products and services and values. No, no, no. And I want Dale himself to tell more about how he is different from many other real estate agents you will find in the market. So, without further delay, let me invite Dale. Dale Warfel, he's into real estate agency and services for many, many years. And without me going into details about his business, let him explain what he does and how he can add value to your life. So, Dale, welcome to New Beginning Inspiration for All.
Oh, thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, so tell me, because I know you have engineering background and you got into real estate. Many times people get into real estate with engineering background when something happens like pandemic or something. But you got started into real estate way, way before pandemic.
Yes.
So what was your why? Why did you get started into real estate? What was the situation that time?
Well, I think, is in technology, there's always ups and downs, reorgs, upsizes, downsizes, and moves. And really what I was finding that I was kind of getting tired of the political games that they were playing in the corporations. And then my last position, I was actually acquired by Nokia from a startup, Ember Networks, back in the early 2000s. And in 2004, Nokia tried to fit this fast-moving product into a very slow-moving company that just didn't work. And so they ended up shutting down the whole division, laying everybody off. And I really, at that point, had a decision to make. Do I want to get back into the high-tech roller coaster or consider other options? And one thing I found with having my degree was industrial engineering, which is very business oriented and business processes, efficiency, and so forth. What I found was looking at other opportunities besides just engineering. He kept coming back to real estate. First of all, I had been introduced by a friend who was a realtor and did a job very, very well for us when we bought our current home, as well as looking at other businesses. And in the end, real estate just proved itself to be financially the best option for me. And also it checked a lot of boxes in terms of how I like to operate, my ethics, my personality, my love of people, and so forth. So that's how I got into it, and it's been over 18 years now. So fantastic change, and I would never go back if I could. So.
Did you review any other business options? Because there are so many business options, right? Why real estate?
Yeah, so actually I was got with a company that did franchises, sold franchises, and we looked at a handyman franchise, a window cleaning franchise, a stained glass making franchise, and then one other one. And I just looked at the numbers and the overhead for having the brick and mortar store, the inventory, the people, the equipment, the capital outlay. I saw a big risk, and with the return on investment, it just wasn't there. Real estate had almost too easy of an entry point for cost wise. It just took really time and building trust, and I had no problem with that because like you, Sue, I was an Amway distributor, and I had for 7 years, long time ago, and I really learned how to develop trust in people, and the tools from Amway were just amazing. And really, that was a training that really helped me become a successful real estate agent because I learned to take no for an answer. And I just kept going and doing the right thing no matter what. And it was an amazing tool. That with the engineering background, it all fell into place. And I had success early, unlike most agents. This was phenomenal.
Okay, you talked about my case, but in my case,
Yes.
actually, I have many buckets.
Right.
I create digital products. I have digital e-courses. I blog. I vlog. I have a couple of YouTube channels which are monetized, and I'm creating two more YouTube channels. So I have many buckets.
This
Means
was back in the
basically,
80s. So we're not,
yeah, but means basically,
computers
yeah.
were
Once
barely
you know
invented
one
back then.
business, and especially if you have some audience who can trust you, and yeah, then basically getting into many other businesses, it's quite
Yes.
easy. So,
Yes.
so you studied mainly franchise. So, what franchise? What was the reason?
Well, because it was a system that was a proven system that was set up. That what it needed was a business owner to expand into a new area, and that's what I liked about it, as opposed to starting a business from scratch and having to put together all the business processes, figuring out who my target market was going to be, how to advertise it, how to do the bill collection, figuring all that out. I thought a franchise option is a great way to get that head start. And I
But
know
I
many.
heard, yeah, I heard that actually the success rate for franchises is really high.
It depends. If the main reason for business failure is undercapitalization, and what I saw was that even though it was a franchise, you still needed to develop your client base, and the costs for the upfront costs of setting that business up were substantial. And I felt the risk was too great. When I did the financial analysis, the risk to reward, the numbers just didn't add up. And then
Oh,
what I
okay.
found was that I actually met the person that bought the franchise. He ended up joining my networking group. So he went out of business because he had to charge so much money to cover the overhead of that business. He couldn't make it work.
But you didn't feel that real estate was saturated?
You know what I found is there's never too much space for someone doing the right thing. There are a lot of agents out there, and I'm not going to disparage anybody in particular, but there are agents out there that their main focus is themselves. And my philosophy is to take my eyes off myself. How can I help my clients? And my business partner, Helen, and I, we work as a team, and we focus on helping our clients, even if that means they're not going to buy something now or they're going to sell something now. It doesn't matter, because doing the right thing is always the right thing to do.
Because actually, yeah, we come across with so many agents that, okay, we charge only this percent, we charge only that percent, and we are, I don't know, some people even might have said actually we are the cheapest one and all. So, what is your opinion about that? Means, why do agents come across and they market themselves saying that? Why is it so?
Well, I think that when agents don't have a value statement, the lowest price always sells. And our philosophy is to go above and beyond with our clients to help them every step of the way. It isn't just about the price we charge; it's about what we deliver in the end to our client. And when our clients become raving fans and refer us, it tells us that we did the right thing. And when you don't become top rated on Yelp or other sites because you charge a low amount, because they're still not happy with what you do, they're gonna rate you poorly. In the end, it's the experience. They remember the experience, and with us, they get a fantastic one, and the results are speak for themselves.
So 18 years means basically you are not a new kid on the block. Okay, means basically you have proven yourself. How was
Yes.
your journey? What do you want to say? Anything about your journey?
Well, as most agents begin, I worked with mostly buyers, and my first client was one of my groomsmen for my wedding, and helping him buy his first place. Um, During the first few years of business, it was mostly buyers for me in a seller's market. In 2008, when the market flipped upside down and banks, had overextended themselves, and foreclosures were beginning to happen, buyers weren't buying. And so I began to reinvent and learn how to do what's called short sales, which is work with distressed sellers that don't want to lose their house to foreclosure, but want to find a way to have a more graceful exit and work with the banks to negotiate a payoff less than the money that they owed the bank. And so became very, very good at that. And what happened was my business shifted from a 90% buyer clients back before 2007 to an 80% seller heavy clients through that downturn, which ended in 2011. 2011 ended, the market began to turn upward again. I was already kind of cemented as a strong listing agent. I had 3 years of experience with short sales, so regular listings where there was equity involved. Ended up being one of our strongest paths going forward, and buyers came as they did, but for the most part, our business was mostly listings at that point. And now things have kind of changed. There's more of a balanced listings to buyers, so we help both sellers and buyers equally. So I've learned to become proficient and experts at both.
So you mentioned actually the changing times and changing markets and all. So with all this uncertainty, do you think anyone can expect to have a stable income because of real estate?
Well, in terms of for investing in property, do you mean? Or
No, in general, if someone wants to look at real estate as their career,
yes.
So do you think it is a viable option to have steady income? Because you are a family man, and if someone
Yes.
wants to consider real estate as their profession for full-time income, but if the market is changing every day like this, you don't know how it is going to be tomorrow. Do you
Yes.
think it is a viable option? I will talk about investment later, but right now I'm just talking about mainly the real estate agent as a profession. Do you think it is a viable option?
So, well, obviously, I'm viable in it. So that I do say it is a viable business. The challenge we have right now is that the inventory of homes for sale is low. Even though it's gone up a little bit, it is still quite low compared to where we were a few years ago, and it really isn't getting a whole lot better. So when there's fewer homes to sell, there's fewer buyers that can buy those homes because there's only one buyer per home. So when there's fewer transactions and there's already a lot of agents working, to start in it now might be a bit of a challenge. In general, when the market is stable, I think it's a fantastic industry to be in. I think the key thing is that when you're in the industry like real estate, you need to really focus on service the clients. How can I help them? And if you're not selling, you are continually looking to see how I can help, because in the end, those referrals will come from people that you know and people that you meet.
Yeah, word of mouth is the best referral anyone can get. And yeah, I mean, that really proves the trust, because means that is how most of the businesses are done.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned about investment. So let me just continue on that topic. So
Okay.
what about real estate investment? Because we always looked into that area, but fear of unknowns when we never got started into that area. My husband is very comfortable with investing in stocks and bonds and all, and he has been doing that. So he just continued doing that. So, what is your opinion about real estate investment, and which areas will be really good for that, or whether anyone should go for it or not? So, just
Okay.
enlighten us.
All right. So I think real estate is a fantastic investment. The really key question is, what do you buy and where do you buy it? I always follow the philosophy, buy what you know. What that means is, if you understand single family homes, condos, townhomes, you understand how those work. You buy, that's what you should buy, as opposed to buying a 30-unit apartment building, which you have, or a piece of a commercial, strip mall. Those are things you don't know, and unless you have an expert you're working with that knows that, and someone who's ethical and can guide you, I don't recommend investing in things like that, because you can get yourself into a whole lot of trouble if you don't follow the right process or understand what the metrics are. You can put yourself in a financial issue or a legal issue, and that's never a good thing. But in terms of just real estate in general, I think it's a phenomenal investment, because a true investment pays you to own it, right? So that's the whole point about real estate is, You buy the philosophy I believe in real estate. I'm more of a conservative model in real estate. You buy property under market value. You buy property that gives you a positive cash flow, and you don't worry about the appreciation, future value. Future value, in my opinion, is a serendipity, which means it's a benefit at the end that you don't count on. We have a property in South Carolina. That's where my investment property is located. And I bought that area because it had a number of things going for it. It had industry, it had military, education was there. And so there was and healthcare also in the same area. So a number of factors really supported that location that I purchased at that time. And that property cost me $70,000, and it's been a predictable. It's a little townhouse. It's been a predictable $650 a month of income that I can count on month to month. The tenant's been there, raised rent a little bit. For the most part, it's been steady income, and so the return on that has been fantastic. When you look at property in California, in the Bay Area, right? You look at a single family home. A single family home in a decent area could cost you $1.5 million. What's that going to rent for? $4,000, maybe $5,000 a month if it's a decent property for that price. Well, if you look at the ratio of the rental income to the purchase price, the ratio is so poor. I try to use a rule of thumb. If you can get a property that pays you 80 cents to $1 per $100,000 for $10,000 of purchase price, $1,000, you're doing great. In other words, if you can get $800 on a $100,000 purchase per month as rent, you're doing great. Here, you're getting $5,000 for a $1.5 million. The ratio is totally wrong unless you're putting a whole lot of money into the property to make it worth the while. Then you have this cash that's doing nothing and making piddly amounts of return on the investment. Way better to buy properties in other markets. For example, some markets like Idaho, Boise, Idaho, has had a big downturn recently because of the economy. It might be a great place to consider buying an investment property. So the key thing, I think Robert Kiyosaki put it best: the difference between an asset and a liability, right? You know the difference because when you stop having a paycheck, an asset feeds you, a liability eats you. And if you're putting money into a property every month, that property is eating you. And the problem with the middle class is most people buy liabilities. They buy nice cars, they buy big houses, they buy the toys, and all of that is just money that's worth less and less every day. Whereas investment property are assets, and how many can you buy if they're paying you to own them, right? You can buy a lot of them. So that's my plan, is to buy one every couple of years and begin building that portfolio.
Yeah, you mentioned about the nice cars and all. I remember reading somewhere that Sam Walton, he actually drove pickup truck throughout his life, and he didn't care what other people thought of it, because basically he knew what he was doing and where he was going. So yeah, you should know what are assets and what are liabilities.
Absolutely.
You also mentioned that find property under the market price. Where do you find and how to find those properties?
Well, you need to have an ethical professional that works in the area that you want to invest. And we have great connections to agents in multiple markets. For example, Tennessee has been a great area. The Knoxville area and outskirts of Nashville have been great areas. Some parts of Texas, Florida has been flourishing because of the open investment approach they have in their business, and certainly Boise, Idaho. There are some areas I would avoid. For example, Phoenix, Las Vegas, because they have big water issues down there.
Oh yeah.
And you don't realize how important that is until you don't have it, right? And Lake Mead has been running dry. The level's getting lower and lower, and that feeds Las Vegas from the Colorado River. So, those areas, you have to look at factors which drive demand and support home values. Things like, what industry is supported? Is it just tourism? Las Vegas is heavy tourism and not much else. Whereas other areas could have tourism, distribution, education, tech, biomedical research, military, and so on. So the more factors that support a given market, the more sustainable it's going to be. And then in addition, of course, if you're buying a property that's going to be for the consumer, for example, like rental properties, then areas with good schools would be beneficial to look at as well. But for the main, just looking at the general location, you want to find areas that have as many of those factors as possible. And then,
okay, sorry, go ahead.
And then beyond that, when you find an area that you select, you need to have a local team and put together a local team that can support you. If you're going to have contractors, if you're going to have property managers, property manager, if you're not going to be managing it yourself, can make or break a property.
Oh, absolutely. I know, because there are, I heard so many cases and they were not that great. And I totally agree with you. I totally understand.
Yep.
No, just changing the gears. What about first-time home buyers? Because, they have never actually bought a house, but now they want to start a family, they want to buy a house. So what advice you can give it to them?
Well, first of all, you need to understand your job, right? Is your position, going to be solid? If you have a feeling that the economy is puts your job at risk, don't buy anything. Don't do it. Keep your costs as low as possible. Put money away. Build that savings and protect yourself. If you are in a position where you say, something, I'm tired of paying the rent. Maybe you have a family. And the rent's been going up and up, and rents have been going up, especially with now they've come out of the pandemic. They're really I see a lot of landlords raising rates substantially. It may be the time to make that move, and you may find that the net after tax breaks may be pretty close to where you are right now, and then you can be building equity for yourself, not helping make your landlord more wealthy. That says being a landlord, but. But what I would suggest is that if you are thinking about making a move, really make the decision and put both feet in. What I found, I've had buyers that they say, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't, and they kept saying no while prices kept going up, and they didn't make one offer, and they waited 2 years, and next thing you know, they're priced out. They can't do it. Right now, it's kind of a very, I believe, a unique opportunity for buyers. Yes, their inventory is fairly low, but right now there's far fewer buyers that are in the market looking for properties. What that means is there's less chance of being involved in a bidding war, right? And if you're involved in a bidding war like we were earlier in the year, those prices can get blown up way out of proportion to the market. Whereas buying now, if you may be one or maybe one other buyer that's competing for that property, you have a chance to negotiate maybe some better terms, maybe a little bit lower price. Houses in general are selling at or slightly below asking price right now. Whereas 6 months ago, they were selling for 7-8% above asking price. And you had to put ridiculous terms in the offer to make it work. But now you can make an offer, a solid offer. You still got to be fully pre-approved and show your finances and your savings and your pre-approval letter and all of that. But having less competition is going to be a better situation for you all as well. The other thing is because the market is a bit softer than it was earlier in the year, you may be able to negotiate with sellers to help give you credits, pay points towards your loan to bring your rate down, or have the seller do what's called like a 2-1 buy down, which is to temporarily lower your interest rate by 2% and 1% for the first couple of years to really help kind of gently put you into the loan without having to pay that full price. And maybe by then, interest rates start coming down, you refinance, and you lower your payment permanently. So,
yeah, because and many times actually even the house buying decision is based on the school district and all, and then people generally try to buy a house in that particular school district when the school year is starting and all. So there are many other factors also.
Right.
So
yeah. And this time of the year, the people that are moving because of enrolling in schools really hasn't started yet. That starts usually in February. So between now and February might be a good time to to start seriously looking and see what they might be able to afford, and then talking to a lender to really understand what your payment would be and what other financing options they have.
Yeah, it's better to be pre-approved, right? It is
Yes.
really better to be
Yes, and
pre-approved.
underwritten, so you could make an offer without having to make a contingency for your loan approval. You could focus on the property condition and the appraisal value.
So do you do also mortgage? Do you also do, because I came across with some real estate agents, they do loans also and they do real estate also. So what is your opinion about that?
I have never done loans. My philosophy is become an expert at one thing, and our thing is real estate. We work with people that we trust, because my philosophy is if you do both, right? There's that ethical dilemma that happens. Well, do I get my client into a loan that may not benefit them in the long run, but helps them buy a bigger house, so I get more money on the commission and on the loan, versus being more conservative, saying, you don't need to spend this, $1.5 million. Here's a $1.2 million house that checks most of the boxes this other one does, and it saves you 20% of the money. And so I would rather personally focus on one or the other. And so I've never done a loan, no interest in learning how to do loans. I rely on the experts, ethical experts, to do just that.
So we talked about home buying. How about selling? Means what preparation someone needs to do, because we are thinking of downsizing. I have a 6-bedroom house and my kids are actually moving out now. So we surely downsize. I don't know when, but so what all the tips are needed when you want to sell a house? What do you recommend?
All right. So the first thing is forget 6 months ago, right? Because the market is not there. I've had some sellers I've met with, and we didn't end up working with them. But what they said was, I would have made some improvements if it would have been 6 months ago, but I just want to sell it as is now. And I told them, I believe that's a mistake on your part, because just because we may not be getting the extreme prices when it peaked back in April and May of this year, there's still no excuse not to prepare your home to sell. It's got to be clean. Address things like deferred maintenance. If for example, if you've got this paint that's peeling at the front of the house, fix it, clean it. If your landscaping is overgrown, make that curb appeal look fantastic, so people stop at the house, they have an expectation they're going to see even better things inside. Deferred maintenance, things like deep cleaning it. You have to go and clean every corner. And I know we share a fantastic home cleaner that we work with, and she does her team do just that. So we always say, don't cut corners, clean them, right? And do things like brighten up light bulbs, and maybe consider changing window coverings and doing other cosmetic things which are going to make the house look lighter and brighter and more appealing, because that is going to get you far more return than just saying, well, I just want to sell as cluttered as it is, and see what happens. Because even though buyers are, there's a softer market, buyers are looking for opportunity, and if they see a property that's deferred, they're figuring, well, people aren't going to like this property, so I may not even make an offer, and if I do, it's going to be low. So why not put yourself in a position to get the best possible price you can, and do the little things. And we have a checklist we go through with our clients that walk them through and give them guidance on what they could do. And so whether they hire us or not, it's a great tool that they can use for their future sale.
Oh, that will be really good. So you do staging and all that, right?
Yes, part of our service is staging. Now, if they're living in the home, we have a stager that can work with them and actually tell them, okay, pack this item, move this to that room, do this, change that, and to get them a list. And then we sit down with our clients, go through that list, and put together a game plan. And then the stager comes back and then brings in her things, which help really customize it and modernize it and make it so it appeals to the buyers who are willing to open up their wallet and make that right offer that's going to make you happy and get something accepted.
Do you have any before and after photos to share? Maybe at the end of the episode, we can Show
Sure,
some photos. Yeah,
I
me.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm interested in looking at them because yeah, that might be really good resource for
Okay.
the audience. Yeah, they
Okay.
can check out how it works.
Right. The one I have in mind is actually one that this house was the person that passed away in the home, and so the house was in such it was in very very poor condition. So we ended up doing quite a bit of updating to the house. So you'll see a transformation on those. So not typical though, not typical.
Okay. So I remember actually chatting with you, and you said you have a lot of passion to help seniors because senior citizens, yeah,
Yes.
their needs are changing, and yeah, their needs are not getting any younger. So, do you touch upon basically what services do you offer to seniors?
Okay. So first of all, we offer seniors someone that they can have an honest conversation with. They can give them guidance in many areas. If you know if any people in your audience are in the 60 plus range, they're getting phone calls, right? From people trying to sell them things and take advantage of things, and you see the things on television. Oh, you could lose your house and title, and you need to do this and call that, and emails that really talk about things which are like, oh, your account's been compromised. Call this number, and people that are older sometimes they don't make the right decisions that somebody younger and more savvy would make. So they need someone that's going to be there to kind of help them. And so we're there, just for a consumer protection purpose, right? Just to be there for them. And it's important to us, personally, that we're there for them. But additionally, people that are older, they've accumulated in many cases a lifetime worth of things in their home, and they just don't know what to do. Maybe they're in a situation where they're getting older and they can't get around the house very well. Um, First of all, we need to understand: do they want to stay in their home, right? If they want to stay in their home, we're going to find every option that we have to help them do just that. Whether it's contractor to make doorways wider, lower light switches, remodel their kitchen so they can get handicap access, whatever they need, we want to help them do just that. If they're at a point where they realize they just can't take care of themselves anymore, they need to go somewhere, we can perhaps help them find places that they could talk to, and even help show them. Again, we get nothing from that. We're there purely to help them with that decision process, getting their family involved, right? Making sure their family is on the same page as them. First, do they have an estate plan, right? Do they have a living trust? If they don't, I know a great estate planning attorney that can help them do those things, right? But then let's say the decision's been made, they're going to make that move. Well, then we're going to walk through and put together a plan, help them with the move of their things, what they're going to keep, what they're not going to keep. We can coordinate. We have an estate liquidator that we work with that can help them sell the things that they're not going to keep or give away. And it's really up to the person. They are an independent. We don't make decisions for them. They make their own decisions. But we're here to be a compassionate ear and to really give them just straightforward advice, whether or not they end up working with us or not. We're here again because I've had grandparents. My parents are passed now, and it was very important for me in those cases to be that person, right? To be there to listen, because not all family members have their parents' best interests in mind, sadly, and so we want to be there to really be there for them as that compassionate ear. And then if they end up moving, we help them get the property ready for sale, put it on the market, and make sure that everything is set up so that the funds go to the right place in the end. So,
And what I really like that you have all other resources available and especially reliable ones. Because
yes.
I heard so many cases. For example, one of my friend's place, actually, the contractor was working at her house and he stole her diamond earrings, and she couldn't do anything. It was very obvious he stole it, but means basically she had nothing to prove for it. It so it means basically you are working with all these resources, and you know them for years, so we know that such things won't happen. Yeah,
Absolutely.
because that is so important, because to find these reliable contractors and cleaning people and all, That is because nowadays people are not using those services because of this, because they are just scared. You just don't know. If
That's right.
totally unknown person is coming into your house, we just cannot trust that much. But these people, you are working with them for years, so people can surely utilize those resources and services.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally appreciate.
absolutely. At the same time, we tell people don't test an honest person, right? If you have things of value, but no matter whether it's your contractor or your granddaughter, right? Put the valuable things away. We kind of give them some common sense recommendations. So don't leave temptation out there to anyone, because you just
Yeah,
can't.
yeah. I totally understand, because yesterday I went to a restaurant and there was a big sign written over there that don't put any valuables in your car, and even if you put valuables, don't put it obviously, to means basically so that the thief can come and steal them. So don't put it obviously where they can come and see and all. So yeah, why to give temptation? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, totally understand.
Yep. Yep.
So we are almost actually finishing our episode, but I just wanted to ask you if you want to summarize anything, or if you want to give any additional message, or just feel free to cover, because I may not have covered all the points, but if I miss something, yeah, please go ahead and cover those points.
Okay, so going back to the buyers, I think again it's a great opportunity for buyers right now to get property that they might not otherwise have been able to afford, or because of the fewer number of buyers out there right now. It's just a great opportunity to consider it. For sellers, if you're not looking to sell right now is a great time to get your house in order, right? To get it put together so that maybe in the spring, if things are improving in the market, you're ready. If you need recommendations for contractors and such, we're happy to provide them. And then again, for investing, learn your craft. There's a great book on real estate that I recommend from my previous company I worked at. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. It's a great book written by Gary Keller and one other writer. Great book on the basics of real estate investing. And when you read that book and truly understand it, it will be a great foundation to build your real estate investment portfolio. And then the last thing is, certainly I'd love to show you some photos of a property that we had ended up having to do some major work on just because the condition was so poor, but the result of the client was amazing. So I'd love to show this to you.
Oh, sure. I would like to take a look at them. Sure.
Let me share the screen here. Uh-oh, it says you need to enable screen sharing.
Okay, let me just see.
Okay, let me pull this up here. Okay, so this this property I actually used as a presentation. That's why it's in the slides that it's in. So let me just share with you what we had done. So this property was in pretty bad condition. What you're seeing right here is the hospital bed that the woman was living in when she was at the house.
Why it is so dark and gloomy?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what it was. She had the blackout blinds closed, and that's just how she lived. But she ended up passing away in the home. And if you note the brick fireplace and the worn carpeting on the floor, what we didn't realize was what was underneath. And so after we had taken the listing, we went ahead and pulled it up and saw, whoa, we have some nice floors there. So that plus a few other things. Let's see here. We turned it in.
Oh, this is really transformation, huh?
Yeah, the hardwood floors were actually in fantastic shape.
So, I can't believe it is the same house.
I know. Yeah, we refinished them. We added some extra lighting. We opened the curtains. We put tile over the brick fireplace and just really changed the baseboards. And really, it wasn't that expensive to do, but this made a phenomenal improvement in the look of the house. And this house is professionally staged by one of our fantastic stagers. And it's really the whole point of staging is to sell space. And
The first house was like that. I will never enter into that house, and second house looks like I will never leave this house.
yes,
So it's total transformation.
This was a family room. So the family room,
OMG.
just hoarded over time and just collected a tremendous amount of things. That's my little boy there looking at. They had a Victrola in the corner, right? So,
oh man,
so we ended up coordinating an estate sale. We sold what we could. What we didn't sell, we tried to give away, and what people didn't want, then we ended up hauling away. And that happened over a matter of about a week and a half. And then the contractor came and turned that family room into this. So this was actually a converted garage on a slab. So we put tile floor down here, and then just changed the lights from the old square style to the more modern round, changed the paint colors, opened the windows up, and staged it. So the kitchen was a whole different story. You walked from the front door. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, so they walked in from the front door here. Then you made a sharp left, and then you had the oven here. Right here was a cooktop. Then you had the sink behind this counter, which is right here. And then you walked around. It was very cluttered. And this is the brick from the fireplace on the backside. You can see them both here. Here's another view of that. They had a little eating area here, and you see the old green tile floor in the entryway. So we turned this kitchen into this.
Cannot believe it is the same place.
Yeah, we had to gut the whole place. Ended up moving the sink to the to in front of the window, so we had a nice view rather than in the middle of the home. And then here's the fireplace. So we tiled the fireplace, so it made that brick go away, and it really made it invisible in the room. People didn't even realize it was there. And
is it a remodeling or rebuilding? Because I'm confused.
That was a remodel. And part of the issue was the old galvanized, plumbing was leaking everywhere. So we ended up having to put copper plumbing in the house. So while they did that, they went ahead and moved the sink at the same time. So it just worked out well. Kept the power for the oven on the same to minimize costs. Put a nice backsplash in there. Really created this thing. This was the master bathroom. So the reason why it looks green is because they had a stained glass insert in the window that shined this hue. They had a really tiny little bathroom. There's a shower on the right side of the bathroom, toilet next to it, and then the vanity right by the window. So when we reversed it, put the shower by the window, and then put the toilet. You can almost see here, put the toilet where the shower used to be, and then put a vanity in there. So really again, cleaned it up, made it really a beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I can see the difference.
And on the hall bathroom, we had the toilet. You had to walk through the toilet and the vanity to get to the tub. So what we did is we just moved the toilet on this side, shortened the vanity a little bit, and then redid the tub surround, put a new shower door on it, and really just made it look great. And we shortened the window because see, big tall window here. You don't have a shower blasting on the windowsill, so we raised the window up. I put a little cubby for soaps and shampoo in the shower. So. And the master bathroom had wallpaper, the old green carpet, and then that old light fixtures, closet doors, and we just modernized it. Again, removed the carpet, had beautiful floors, just refinished them, and then just made it into a nice bedroom. So
this must have taken a lot of junk because it looks like a really total transformation.
This was again. This is probably the most extreme we've had to do on a property. But what happened was when they sold the house, it sold for $300,000.
Okay, so of course they recovered everything.
Yeah, it more than covered it, as opposed to if it is sold like it was before. And the other thing too, a lot of cultures don't like homes where someone just passed away. They feel uncomfortable with that. But the buyer that bought this was one of those cultures. And in the end, what they said was, because all the old stuff was gone, that stigma was gone. And so they were fine with it. It didn't matter. they were able to love the home, and they kept the home to this day and absolutely love it. So that's it. Just some examples of what we did and what our team can do. Not tell you what they're going to do or what you would recommend. Sometimes a coat of paint and cleaning the carpets is all you need, right? Other times it takes a little bit more, but we don't have any preconceived idea. We provide options, and then whatever options everyone agrees on, we get the bids for that, and then once they agree on that, we put our team in motion, manage the project, and in the end the client gets the result they were hoping for.
It's absolutely beautiful. I totally applaud all the efforts, and it's really enlightening. Thank you. I really appreciate, and thanks for being on our podcast. Thanks for adding value to our audience.
Well,
And you mentioned that they can get a free checklist about how to make your house ready. Where can they find that checklist?
So just contact us. You can call us at our number, or go to our website, mypulserealestate.com, and I can give the phone number over the phone if they want, or if you have, I don't know if you put it on the blog, but I'm happy to give that.
Oh yeah, it will be on the show notes for podcast, and I'll put all the information even in the YouTube basically all the things over there, and even on the blog and the social media. I'll put the information over there. Sure.
It's always better for us to come by and take a look, and then we can kind of walk through, because the list may say, oh, is this, but what you have may be fine, or maybe you think it's fine, then it's not. So giving our eyes, and you have 4 eyes, because both my partner Helen and I work all of our business together. So you can meet, go through the property, and put together that list for you.
Yeah, this is actually not exactly related to your service, but I just wanted to ask you, can you tell anything about the international real estate investments, or you don't deal with that area at all?
Well, personally, I don't. You need to understand the economy you're investing in, what the risks are, the political climates, and so forth, because the rules are different in other countries. In the U.S., you have a thing called consumer protection, right? In other countries, it's buyer beware. So you really need to understand what you're investing, where you're investing, and it's, if you don't have someone that's knowledgeable in that area, is the saying, I would rather be in a bad business with good people than a good business with bad people. So if you got the wrong people, they could be running you down the wrong road. And really, when you've been working and saving and make a smart investment, you don't want to throw it away, right? Look at the people that invested in that cryptocurrency company, right? The FTX lost everything. It sounded good. Things sometimes could be true, sometimes they are. So just proceed with caution. It's about my thing. But if they want some people in various countries, we might be able to help them find someone in our network. Just let us know.
Okay, sure. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure our audience learn a lot of new things. And means they will be excited to get the free gift from you.
Okay.
And all the best for your real estate journey. Keep on doing the good work. We totally appreciate you being on our podcast. Thank you.
And thank you, Sue. It's been a pleasure. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.